War, persecution, violence, and human rights abuses – these are the main reasons why people had to flee their homes. According to the UN Refugee Agency, the number of displaced persons in 2022 stood at a record 110 million.
You may recall just a couple of years ago, or maybe last year, when we announced that for the first time we had gone over 100 million displaced people. Well, already 10% more have been added to this figure.
The report says the war in Ukraine was the top driver of displacement in 2022.
Last year, the number of people who were forced to flee Ukraine was 5.7 million. It was the fastest growing refugee crisis that we had seen since World War II.
The vast majority of Ukrainian refugees are in Europe, especially in Poland. The European Union activated the Temporary Protection Directive in March 2022, which allows Ukrainians to stay and work in Europe.
According to estimates of the Ministry of Social Policy of Poland, about 1.4 million Ukrainian citizens received temporary protection status, and about 900,000 of these have found a job as of February-March of this year.
Many Ukrainian refugees have a high level of education, and that has helped many of them land good jobs in Europe.
The percentage of Ukrainian refugees with a university degree is very high, and this gives them an advantage in adapting to the EU labor market. Also, they most likely know English or other foreign languages.
But even though Ukrainians are welcomed in Europe, the United States, and Canada, some still face many challenges.
The majority of the refugees fleeing Ukraine are women and children. So even things as simple as accessing childcare to enable women to work. This is a huge obstacle that a lot of people are facing.
A survey by the Ukrainian Center for Economic Strategy says Ukrainian refugees are also suffering income losses.
42% of Ukrainians had enough money only for food, or not enough even for food.
According to the UN, more than 70% of Ukrainian refugees want to return home when the war ends.
For many, it's important that Ukraine have European Union and NATO memberships. Ukrainians want to be sure the war situation doesn't happen again.
Before the Syrian war in 2011, there were about 40 million refugees and internally displaced people globally. The UN report says that since then, the number has more than doubled. Lesia Bakalets for VOANews, Warsaw.